Okay, so the player on the top is Chris Lee. Chris is one of my players this summer, 17U, though I think he's only 16. Um, he working hard in the off season here, and just sent me a video and asked me to take a look at it. So I did, and Chris is a nice little swing. I just thought I would put him next to somebody with a very technical swing. Maybe technical is the wrong word. A very athletic swing, I guess would be the right word. Uh, Underneath. So, first thing we're going to do is just run through this very slowly in slow mo at the same time. Okay, and just point out some differences in the two swings, and hopefully, through repetition and practice, Chris can be a little bit more athletic in his swing. Because technically, it's not bad. It's a pretty good swing, but I'd like him to use a little bit more of his body and be a little bit more athletic when he moves to the ball. Let this run a little bit forward. They both have nice A-frame holds there. Okay, a little bit more pronounced than others. They're both kind of inside their foot, and that's good too. So nice and balanced. They both also are kind of open with their stance already. You'll see that this batter here is a little bit open with his stance, and Chris is as well. Not a lot, but they are. I like that as well. It allows the batter to see. Two eyes on the ball is always better than one, in my opinion. As they move forward and get ready to load here, you'll notice our first big difference. Okay, and it's the shin angle. Chris is more straight up and down there, whereas this player is going towards, you know, the pitcher a little bit more. Okay, and that'll help his back knee drive. Anytime you pick up your foot and your knee is well inside your, I should say, anytime you pick up your stride foot, which is here, okay, all right, that's the stride foot in a batter. You want to look at the shin angle of the plant foot, which is here, okay? And what you like to see is this angle on the bottom in this player, because his knee being that far inside his foot tells us that he's going to get more push to the ball, okay? If you get more push to the ball, you're creating more force from the ground, and using the ground is one of the things that we harp on at Bethel. So that's one big distinction. The other thing is the line of his hips. You can see this batter is much more up with his hips, and Chris is more flat. Not the not the worst thing in the world, and that could be a result of the plane of the pitch. This player thinks this pitch might be up, so he gets the plane of his hips going up. Conversely, if the ball is down, sometimes you'll see hitters that are looking for a ball down, specifically with two strikes, adjust their hips down to go get it. And so that's one of the differences I see here as well. Moving forward here, you're going to see outstanding lever from the player on the bottom. And Chris's is very good. Not outstanding, but very good. Okay? And you'll see this one almost a straight line there. So he's going to use that leverage to pull around with his front side. And when I talk about front side pull, I'm talking about this shoulder firing second to the hips, okay? And what we see from both players right now, which is very good, is that when their foot comes down, you can tell that they're engaging their hips at least a little bit because the front foot is open in both players, okay? Now you're going to see one use his hips a little bit more, and we're going to highlight that as well. But for now, this is a pretty good stretch position both by Chris and by the player on the bottom, okay? The player on the bottom, a little bit more athletic. You can see just a little bit more shin angle from him as opposed to Chris. But, that's not bad. Chris's shin angle is pretty good, okay? As I run this forward a little bit, you're going to see the move to the ball. You're going to see that this player on the bottom engaged this ball a lot closer to his body than Chris did. Chris is reaching. Let me see if I can move that out a little bit. There you go. Chris has his hands get away from his body a lot sooner, okay? And you're going to see that top hand kind of fire there. Let me try to move this a little bit more to where we are here. Let me take a look at Chris. Chris is moving on this ball that's a little down, okay, and away. And that's okay because he's got his lead arm going down and away. But what I don't like from Chris here is his hips have kind of locked. And we're going to notice this at the ends when he falls with his front foot without ever really needing to catch himself with the back. When he puts his second foot down, he's walking to the camera, okay? And we know that by looking at a previous swing, okay? There. So when Chris swings here, he'll catch himself with that front foot and not need to catch himself with his back. When that happens to this player on the bottom, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, and we'll go to another swing to indicate that previously. So this swing here, he catches himself with his front foot, but if he had held that front foot, look what happens to his back foot. His back foot also gets over the plate there, okay? Good extension through the ball there, okay? His hands are close. He's got good flexion and impact. And that's nice contact on the bottom. And then Chris, that's a ball that's up. He must be doing no-take swings, but not bad. I've got a couple of ideas for Chris here. We're going to work on keeping keeping your hands a little bit closer and moving to the ball or correcting any errors in the barrel. We're going to separate our hands a little bit on the bat, so instead of having, let me clear that up. Instead of having both hands here, and here, oh geez. Instead of having two hands together on the bat, we'll move his top hand down about 3 or 4 inches down the neck of the bat. And this will give him a good feel of moving on a pitch like this. Because this is such a bad pitch, Chris moves poorly to it. So you can see his hands pushing. See his hands push right there? You want to avoid that. You want to just turn through, okay? And his posture, again, is straight up and down. He needs to be over that plate more. And I'll send a picture on Twitter of what I mean by that. But, that posture being straight up and down is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for on a high pitch is what we have on the bottom, that turn. See how he's turning through it and not pushing? His hands never push, okay? This is why I like this bottom video, because it shows this high pitch and a low pitch like what Chris got in his BP session. But at impact here, you can see Chris pushing with his hands forward as opposed to the player on the bottom turning through, turn. The hands never extend. You see good, I can't really illustrate it, but I'm going to try to point to where I want you to look. You see great turn in the flexion of those elbows. I tried to get to those elbows as best I could. Whereas if you look up here at Chris, he is just pushing. He's going back and forth. He's pushing right through the ball. I'll clear that up. So no matter where the ball is, whether it's down and away, up and in, we need to be able to manipulate the barrel so that we turn and not push. Okay? That's it.